What is up, you guys? Sage here. Two topics. Number one is the power of the mind over the body, specifically in relation to sex drive. And then second, it's me not believing in deserving. I don't believe that be personalized. I don't believe that I deserve anything. Uh, yeah, we'll get more into that later. So first, understanding the experience that I'm having now compared to the experience within my own body that I had at a different time in my life. It's quite interesting. There was a time when, outside of what I had to do, outside of what I believed was mandatory according to my values at the time, which was training. I had to train, go to work so that I have money to train, and yeah, that was pretty much it. That was pretty much my priorities. And then later on, it became to go to work, train, and then play rugby as well. And then rugby training was put into the mix, and so on and so forth. But outside of that, it was just activity, so to speak. We talked about the mind's effect over sex drive, right? So you'll fill in the blank in terms of what type of activity. It was activity. I was quite active at that time. Now, the focus on today's video is my mind during that time, and what had gone on, and how that affected my body in ways that I didn't even realize at the time. In terms of it, I could not go a week without some sort of release physically, and it became a thing where it was a part of the routine. It was a part of just everything. Just I need some sort of partner, and it was a situation where I don't care which one of you does it, but on Monday, or not on Monday, on a Wednesday and Saturday, I'm probably going to do something with someone, whether it's you. To get what I'm trying to say. So that was the lifestyle at that time. Now, the point that I want to double tap on is the fact that my body at the time supported the way that I thought. It supported my belief system in that I would always crave it as well. Like, I would constantly on my mind be having this thing, be having girls, and that kind of intimacy, and the physical release, whatever. I would always be thinking about those things, and my body would physically always feel an urge to do that, to engage in some sort of sexual activities, like of any sort. And the interesting thing about it is that in my engaging, or in that phase where it was all that I had, and all that I thought about, my body was hyper. Like, if I went a week without, I was always perpetually in a state of needing it, of having that urge, of thinking about, every other second was spent thinking about, damn, who am I smashing this week, man? How can I arrange them, this, that? And not just the conscious effort, but subconsciously, if I hadn't released in a while, then I would have like wet dreams, and I'd have, like all that type of stuff. There was just a lot of sexual energy in my life at that time, and it needed releasing. I literally used to describe it even at the time as like a demon. There was this demon in me of that just wanted to just tear this world apart. It just wanted to smash a hole through the entire world, and it was just on a rampage, because it was also a desire for um, a certain level of variety, as well as a certain level of consistency of variety. um, and so I say all of that to say that was supported by my body physically. Like, I would, because I wanted it, my body would support that. I never had a situation where I underperformed, or I was unable to perform, or whatever the case is. I never had any sort of situation where I kind of had to beg and plead to the old dog. Thought about this the other day. It's called him the hammer, bro. I never had to negotiate with the hammer to get the hammer to smash, bro. The hammer was always ready to smash. Um, and so, contrast, not from exactly when I'd made the decision, but quite soon after. it was a slow peeling off, especially in those, especially after I'd made that decision, to quote get rid of, or to stop sort of doing that, especially with certain individuals that I actually did rock with genuinely on like a human level. I just enjoyed their company. There was just cool people, and I had to have like serious, like, mature conversations about, listen, this is what I'm going through at this time. This is how I'm thinking about solving it, and activity just doesn't really do me justice. It doesn't do me any good, on this journey that I'm on, and so I'm going to abstain. And obviously, I would not ask you to stay with me while I'm going through this time. If you're still interested in doing that type of thing, you can go do it over there. After, there was this phase or this stint where I would still, self pleasure, that type of stuff, to sort of, I don't know, compensate, or to, but just as like a tiny coping mechanism, I suppose. But the main thing for me was not letting that control my life, not letting that be my life, be the thing that I'm making decisions around. Because your intimate partner, especially the person you marry, is a very, very big, choice. It's a very big decision, and it can influence your life in a very, very strong way. And so I don't want that to be a huge controlling factor or determining factor on who I choose. I mean, obviously, attraction is important, this and that, but it shouldn't be the reason why you're with someone is because they so happen to be one person that you're physically attracted to in your close proximity, and that's what you get married based off of. I don't think that's a formula that has a tendency to lead to success. And so, with that being said, it became very necessary for me to begin to remove that incredible urge and desire that I had to just do it all the time with as many people as I could, females, to be very specific. Yeah, just that innate desire and that type of stuff. So I would self pleasure for a while in order to get around that, and then I thought to myself, even in that I am self pleasuring, even though it's not very consistent, I am still giving I'm still giving my sex drive a control over me. Whatever you are addicted to controls you. Whatever you are predicated upon, whatever you depend on, controls you. And so I didn't want that to be a controlling factor in my life. So I stopped doing that as well. So no self pleasuring, no women, in that particular sense. In fact, no people. I feel like, you see this people women thing. I don't know when to to switch from one to the other in order to make it as clear as possible that that there's both no sexual activity, and the sexual activity was with was with females. Those two things are mutually inclusive, or whichever one of those inclusive exclusive it is. Anyway, I say that to say, when I had made that decision and I'd gotten over the moments, when you make a decision, life punks you. It says, do you really want this? um, People that you used to be like this with are not really going to mess with you anymore. Do you really want this? Certain people you thought were going to support you or going to abandon you, do you really want this? Temptations will come to not live this life, and life will throw everything at you to not make you live this way. Do you really want this? Um, okay, girls coming out of the woodwork talking about threesome this, girls talking about just crazy, crazy things going on that you're like, what is actually going on? you know. So the storm came, weathered the storm physically. Mentally, I broke a bunch of times. Mentally, I was ready, bro. But God willing, nothing happened, and never pulled the trigger on it. And from that time onwards, now that I'm reflecting, it's March now. It's probably been about 6 months or more. It's from like September. Um, yes, they're around September a lot. But I did check at some point in time, just kind of have a point of reference. So it's probably September, October, November, December, January, February, March. Yeah, this is the seventh month now, and from the time that I decided that I'm not even going to entertain um, pornography or self pleasuring, from that point onward, I have had like very little to no real, or actually no urge really, in terms of, there are moments of boredom when I think of it, when I'm just like, ish, I could call a hun over now, bro, and just smash and be done with it. But then obviously the counter is always, or I could use that same time to be proactive. And yeah, those moments do come, and I just overcome them like that. Like literally, that conversation happens internally like that, and then that's it. It's over and done with. But I'm talking about no serious urge in terms of, there's nothing in me that says before I go to sleep, like, man, if I could just watch a video right now, you know, if I all I'd have to do is just Google search this, is just do that. There is no real urge. I have had no wet dreams. I have no, like, it isn't this insane amorphous monstrous thing that it once was, or it once felt like, that just had this grip or control over me. That just doesn't exist anymore. It's just not a reality for me, which is insane to reflect on. When I think back to who I was and what that person was going, like, I literally used to Google search and stuff like that, like, about, sex addiction and stuff like that, like, because it would really bother me. I'm like, man, I really, like, I do this all the time, and I don't get tired of it. I don't get sick of it. I don't think this is normal. You know what I'm saying? I was saying, like, I don't think this is normal. And yeah, I think one thing, and I didn't pre-think of this. I'm thinking of this as I'm saying it. I this goes again to further cement the fact that I'm not normal, because I wasn't normal at that time. At that extreme, I wasn't normal, and at this extreme, I'm not normal. In that, absolutely zero desire, zero, no wet dream, no, uh, excessive erections or anything like that. No, like, there's absolutely nothing. Like, there is not a hint of who I was, and that's insane to me to experience, especially in terms of physiologically. Like I said, where, like, during that time, I was active, but I didn't have to force myself to be active. Do you see what I'm trying to say? Like, I felt like, oh, you know what, my chemistry, it needs me to do this. My chemistry is agreeing for me to do this. And like, I don't just go, yeah, you could go once, you know, I was going twice, three times, like, not like it's nothing at that time. And I was thinking to myself, like, there's no way that someone who isn't literally just built and meant to do this could do this. Like that, like, that's how active I was at that time. And the stark contrast, it's blinding, the contrast between that and where I'm at now, where zero desire. I can literally I have multiple conversations every single day with very beautiful women, and there's not even a hint of, say, the demon whispering, like, yo, if you got this girl's number, you could, not to say that I'm perfect. Obviously, I'm human. I am attracted to these people, and there's a decent amount of blood flow to where it needs to flow to let me know that I'm still okay. But I'm talking about mentally where I'm at, and how that's affected my physical is insane. It's absolutely insane to me that I've literally gone this long. I don't even remember the last time that I self pleasured. Literally, I don't remember the last time. And, like, nothing. Like, there's nothing in me that's seriously pressing me or urging me to, like, yo, bro, I can't. I'm breaking now. Next, there's no pressure from my physicality. There's no pressure from my physical body, um, to do such things. Whereas before, it felt like that's all my body wanted to do. And so insane, the ability of the body to honor a contract with the mind. Like, when you tell yourself that something is, your body follows in a way that in this particular context, in this specific context, I feel is quite an interesting and unique experience of both sides of the extreme spectrum. Well, I'm not freaking asexual, and I wasn't 100, like I wasn't like a sex addict to the point where I was like, I'm gonna say to the point where I was like jeopardizing work opportunities stuff like that. But I'm like, hey, bro, I did smash coworkers, so, like some like you get what I'm trying to say. And I also there's instances where I'd have worked in a couple of hours, and then it'd still be this hun that I called over, and I'd be like, hey, let me just sort that out quickly before I. There were those instances. There were instances where like I really had to do something urgently, and then but there was say either a chick over or a chick coming over or whatever, and I just got it in, you know, instances where I maybe had like an injury, a minor injury, and and I was oh god, why am I saying this? Well, because I already max 50 views. No one's gonna see this. Okay, there were instances in which I would like chuck bitches over the wall and shit while I have like a leg injury. Oh yeah, when the mind goes, the body will follow. Eh? So yeah, those instances are true instances and they exist. And this is the type of thing that I was doing at that time that made me think like, nah, this is not normal. There must be something physiologically wrong with me that allows me to do this. But there wasn't, because I'm now on the other end of the spectrum where I couldn't care less. And like I said, I'm talking to beautiful women, and I'm able to not talk to them if their values don't align with me, because that's the ultimate thing that I'm trying to get to now. Is like, okay, let's talk about relationships, relationally. And, you know, three major questions that I ask: what do you want to do with your life? Work, that type of like travel. What kind of traveling do you? Okay, cool. Where do you want to do it? In terms of where do you want to live? Okay, cool. Is it abroad? Is it on? Okay, cool. Who do you want to do it with? Are you interested in marriage or interested in kids? You know, those important type of questions. And if the person doesn't answer these questions in a way that suffices for me in the way that I would prefer, then I just did it. Like, we can continue to conversate on a friendly level, or not even like we won't even text. Like, I don't even have any girls' numbers. I have a couple that kind of, showed potential, or I felt like I hadn't talked enough to, so I thought, now let's talk over the phone some more. And that's literally like two girls. And then it's girls that I was creating some sort of networking group, like the class group that I created, and the whatever. So I don't necessarily count those, and that's it. So there is no real um, beyond conscious attempt to kind of create these opportunities to break that. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like, it's not something that has power over me anymore at all. That, like, I'm not fighting demons right now in order to stay abstinent, which is insane to me, and which is something that, again, me at that time would not believe was even humanly possible. Like, I used to question, I used to question the people around me, and like, well, gents, do you not feel this? Do you not, like, does your blood not, you know what I'm saying? Does your blood not rush with pure, unfiltered desire to just, no, just me? Damn. And now it's kind of like the opposite, where, people are interested in doing that type of thing, and I'm like, yeah, cool, I understand, because I was there. In fact, I was there further than you are. Like, I was more there than you are right now, and I'm just not right now. So absolutely insane, interesting thing that I observed, I've gone through, and yeah, I wanted to share that with you. Just an interesting concept, like I said, which is the body's power to honor a contract with the mind is, it's testament to how powerful the mind can actually be. And this is just not in terms of now your sexual activity, this and that, but in making whatever it is that you want to make. It's crazy what the body will do. It's really, really crazy. Like, literally, like, the stark contrast in my lifestyle then and my lifestyle now really makes you understand, or makes me understand, that this thing is literally just a vehicle, and it will drive any way that you think it can. any way that you believe it can. Like you can push for 12 hours. Like I told you guys about the crazy things I used to do when I was, like I said, working. I'm going to the gym a couple hours a day. I'm eating like 6 meals, 5 meals, 5 massive meals, like an ice cream bucket filled with either pasta or rice, and with mince, with the macaroni, with eggs was the right, like doing incredible, crazy things. Got over 100 kgs and this and that. That's just because that's where my mind was at. Right now, I barely eat. I eat maybe twice a day. That's it. But that's just because of where my mind is at. Then that's just an incredible thing that happens to me, that we are able to um, bend reality. We're able to change our perception of reality based off of what we prioritize at that time. Absolutely, like a ridiculous concept to me. And then lastly, I don't believe in deserving anything. Okay, let me just read this off because I think I articulated it quite well. I don't believe in deserving anything, and therefore I am grateful for everything I receive. I want to I want and work to become worthy of great things, but don't deserve anything. When you deserve something, it is owed to you. I don't think that life owes me anything. It seems like an arrogant stance to believe that life owes you this. And I think in order to appreciate, man, just generally, just in order to appreciate things, you need to have a certain level of, yes, you work towards being worthy of something, but sometimes even when you're worthy, you don't get the thing, you know? And but I deserved it. I worked so hard. It's like, okay, but what if you deserve it and you get it? That seems kind of empty to me, right? Like, yeah, you can conceptualize it in different ways, and this is my version of hyper analyzing it and going deeper into it, which is you can't be truly grateful and deserve something at the same time. You know what I'm saying? As in, when you're grateful for something, or I find that my gratitude expresses itself in a way that, not that I can't believe that I have this thing, but I'm in awe of having it. Having it is such a blessing. And then deserving it is almost the opposite, right? It's the opposite of being in awe of the blessing. It's saying that, oh yeah, good that I got it because I was supposed to get it. You get what I'm trying to say? I don't know if that makes sense. I don't know if I've broken it down, or been able to break the idea into small enough chunks. But it's an idea for sure. The concept of deserving being opposed with gratitude. Um, and for me personally, that's why I don't really, right now at this moment, I can't rock with certain songs and stuff like that, because there's this particular one that comes to mind where Man in the Garden, Kendrick Lamar. Great song, and it means a lot to a lot of people, and I understand what they mean by I deserve it all. But deserve is almost the universe owes me this, whereas I'd replace that with I owe it all to myself. Do you see what I mean by that? And when you owe it all to yourself, that talks more about the work ethic side of things than it talks about the achievement side of things. It's that idea that I would rather give everything that I have in me and lose than to half-ass something and win. Because that just means you are not in worthy competition. You're just competing against people who are less proficient at you at that particular skill, and so you haven't developed yourself. It seems like a waste of time and energy to me personally. And so that idea of deserving to me is juxtaposed to gratitude and being able to be grateful for something. Just food for thought more than anything else. It's, as you saw, it was bit of a story time combined with what that time taught me and what I gather from that time. And I literally just had this realization today about the fact that, thinking back, I'm really in a state now of, I don't get urges like that. Like, it's not anything crazy or that I can't handle. It's not that I'm fighting demons every night before I go to sleep, or I wake up in the morning and I have to. Do you get what I'm trying to say? It's a very naturally flowing, occurring thing, but it also may be getting back into some sort of a. But I created some sort of a routine for myself in any case, in which I didn't have too much spare time. So, and I think that's a beautiful, beautiful thing, by the way. I think it's a beautiful thing that I got the opportunity to create a routine for myself where I chose to resist. I deliberately chose not to do that. And opportunities were presented again and again and again and again and again. And at every opportunity, I had chosen not to engage. I say shaky because there is this one time, and this was in the very beginning of the year, and I was like, listen, and this is one of the people that this is one of the people that were really bothering me for it, because, listen, back in the day, I could put it down, dog. It's not called a hammer for nothing. So so obviously there were people coming out the woodwork with, like, listen, you can do this whole thing and change your life after we do it, bro. We have to do at least, please, one more time. And I'm like, one more. That's all it was. It was just one more time. We can do one more time. This is one time. You know what I'm saying? It's that you start playing stupid mind games with yourself, especially when you're still like a baby within this space. Not to say that I'm not very, very young on this journey, but yeah, still, that's like infancy. I'm now at least gaining consciousness. I'm now at least aware of things like, damn, you know what? I actually don't feel that way anymore, and I don't have to do those. Some people do drastic things, like every time you feel the urge to search whatever, take a cold shower, or you do this, or you pinch yourself to feel pain. And I tried it at that time. None of that worked. I would jerk off in the cold shower, bro. What? What? I'd fucking tear a bitch up doggy while pinching myself. What? What's this pinch yourself cold shower nonsense? You know what I'm saying? It's here. It's all in there. I promise you. I'm making jokes now that are based on true stories, but the truth is that it is all in the mind, and the mind is a very, very powerful thing. And I believe that in order to be truly, truly grateful, you need to remove the idea of things being owed to you. You need to remove that idea from external, from anything external owing you, and anything external being able to gratify the internal, and understand that only the internal is powerful enough, if that makes any sense at all. Meaning, I could literally win anything, be anything, do anything, be a millionaire, centimillionaire, billionaire, and I still wouldn't be happy if I wasn't happy before. Nothing. And so this is to go to that deserving. I could feel that I deserve to be a billionaire, and then become a billionaire, and then the becoming the billionaire will not be a source of gratification for me. I won't feel gratified because I deserved it. And so in my mind, it's a pathway that, yes, it may lead you to do the actions that lead to the success anyway, and that's a good thing. I will never argue against that. That's 100% a good thing to be doing those things. But I think it removes, like I said, that gratitude element that comes on the other side of it. Whereas if you come at it from the other side, which is, I don't deserve everything, but I work to be worthy of things, and being worthy plus a little bit of luck and opportunity, when those things are married, then although you are happy internally before you even do any of this, and you're able to get yourself in that space, because, and this is really quickly side note, if you are always costing happiness outside of yourself, then you will never be happy, because you'll say, I'll be happy when I make $1,000 a day. you make 1,000. I'll be happy to make 10,000. You make 10,000. 100,000. You make 100,000. A million. You make a million. The carrot will always be on the end of the stick, and you'll never have the carrot. But if you decide that you are happy with who you are and you will be fulfilled by who you become, then you are detaching your happiness from the result and putting it more on something dependable, that is the becoming. And you'll find that if you have become world champion, you will win the championship of the world, if that makes any sense at all. Yeah, don't want to make this too long. Don't make this longer than it is. Please do subscribe to my YouTube channel. You see the subscribe button up there, and if you do in fact enjoy it, um, yeah, subscribe, dog. I don't know where I was going with that. I've been Sage. Thank you for watching. Sage, signing out.